Hi everyone, you are on Mobi channel and I am very happy to see you again on my channel, and yes, the preview of this video is not a clickbait, because our favorite characters are really back, but the thing is that it happened in another universe, specifically in the universe of SKIBIDI Invasion, which was created by my good friend spidarrund. And although I didn't follow the plot of the previous parts, I was very much hooked by its last episode, specifically episode 29, so in this video I will not only analyze this episode, but also analyze new additional secret scenes and build my theories, and you as a thank you must subscribe to my channel and to spidarrund's channel, and also give a like to this video. To be honest, I rarely like other SKIBIDI toilet universes, but this one is worthy of your attention, so before we start I advise you as usual to join my Discord server, because very soon we will probably get the full version of episode 73 from Mr. Boom, and to see the full episode one of the first join my Discord server, but anyway we are starting. Episode 29, in addition to the numbering, also has the title Though the Mist, which hints at the darkness and mystery of the episode. The episode begins with a small group of cameraman agents being attacked by a SKIBIDI toilet, and it's a classic start to any episode. The agents seem to successfully repel the first attack, but immediately other enemies come to them, and the second attack turned out to be the death of one of the cameramen for the Alliance. And look who is a part of this small group of cameramen. It's a detective cameraman, which I think is very lacking in the main universe, but I think it's just a matter of time. The detective then orders an attack on the flying SKIBIDI toilet, and although it doesn't kill the toilet, it makes it fly away. The attack from the SKIBIDI toilet continues, and with each new attack the Alliance loses at least one agent. The POV cameraman also gets damaged, but luckily there is one of the medic cameramen nearby, or as we used to call him, the engineer cameraman. The drone brings one of the mechanical robots to the location so that the Alliance has a chance of winning, but the drone is attacked and crashed, and the pilot of the mechanical robot is killed by the first hit, and as it turns out he was attacked by one of the newly arrived SKIBIDI SWAT, who is serious about destroying all the agents here. The POV of the cameraman then decides to take action. He gets into the mechanical robot and takes control, while the rest of the agents cover him. The POV cameraman destroys the enemy one by one, and he even manages to wound the SKIBIDI SWAT, and while he goes to the enemy to finish him off, he also destroys all the enemies that get in his way, and he is also helped by his team. But when the cameraman manages to get as close as possible to the SKIBIDI SWAT, his mechanical robot is hit by a large and sharp knife, as a result of which the robot can no longer function and the cameraman decides to leave it, and just a few seconds later the robot explodes, but POV cameraman survives, and when he raises his head he sees another SKIBIDI SWAT coming out of the fog, but this enemy is armed with a flamethrower. He does not spare the cameraman and fries their ram to a crisp. Next, the POV cameraman turns around and sees a SKIBIDI SWAT Titan in front of him. He is much larger than the rest of his comrades, but much smaller than the original Alliance Titans. He looks at cameraman, and POV is very scared, so he decides to run, but there is another SKIBIDI SWAT waiting for him, armed with axes. And honestly I like the atmosphere so much. I mean, the way the author conveys the mood of the characters and the models themselves are done at a high level. I really like the way they look. I think I might even buy one if they were made in the quality that Glitch produces. Now back to the episode. Even though it seems like POV cameraman has nowhere to run and help is not coming, they show up. First we saw Dark Speaker Man, who in this universe has such an appearance, and his weapon looks very brutal and very effective to make kebabs from SKIBIDI toilet, followed by Plungerman himself at glitch speed, and finished this SKIBIDI SWAT toilet the most real lucky cameraman, which also has an upgrade in the form of the blade of Optimus Prime, or Titan TV Man. But despite the fact that the legendary characters came to the rescue is not time to relax, because the stronger opponents are still here. First Dark Speaker Man enters the battle, and while he distracts all the attention of the enemies on himself, Plungerman and Lucky Cameraman get to work, and it looks very cool and epic, but still the opponents manage to fry Plungerman a bit. Next, all the legends come together again to kick the toilet's ass together, but the Titan SWAT toilet shows us Easter eggs for the first Iron Man movie. Behind him there are big explosions from which big flying SKIBIDI rocket launchers appear, and that ends part 1 of episode 29. But luckily when I do this analysis we have part 2 and even secret scenes available, so right now we move on to analyze part 2 of episode 29. One of the SKIBIDI missilers fires a missile directly into the legendary characters. The explosion was so strong that the cameraman's POV recording was in static for a few seconds. But that's okay, because then the connection was restored, and as it turned out our favorite characters also survived, because they activated the protection sphere, which helped them survive the explosion. Then our legendary characters entered the battle, and while Plungerman effectively and quickly made accurate strikes on Skibidi robots, Dark Speaker Man took on one of the Skibidi missilers. And the lucky cameraman started eliminating the second Skibidi Rocketman, and at this point you can see how his blade started out orange and doing fire damage, and then it switched to green and does acid damage. This is a very interesting detail that I was honestly excited about. Next, Titan Skibidi SWAT got sick of putting up with this, and on his computer he apparently created a magnetic wave which immediately stopped Plungerman and his glitch plungers out of commission. Dark Speaker Man also wanted to damage the Titan, but the Titan drove Dark Speaker Man away like a normal fly, and he tried to fry the lucky cameraman a bit. Next, our heroes tried to destroy again, but the lucky cameraman managed to activate the defense sphere. This can be seen if you slow down the video. Next, the enemy Titan absorbed the energy of their defense sphere into his computer, which further powered his gauntlet, and again Titan shows us the Easter eggs on the Infinity Gauntlet held by Iron Man. Next, Titan unleashes an energy charge into the legendary trio, which causes them all to take damage but survive, and when Titan aims at the POV operator, Dark Speaker Man saves him almost at the very last moment, and as a result takes all the damage but survives. Then Skibidi the Flamethrower approaches them, and it seems that again the battle is lost, but this time the legendary characters are also washed up. Titan takes off his mask to laugh POV cameraman right in the face, but suddenly one of Skibidi Flamethrowers is hit by something very massive, and while the opponents are trying to understand what is happening, POV cameraman finds a rocket launcher next to him and fires missiles at Skibidi Flamethrower. The rocket hits the gas tank and the flamethrower takes a lot of fire damage, while the legendary characters manage to escape. The second Skibidi rocket launcher starts attacking the thing that destroyed his second copy, and by this moment we realize that it was Titan Cameraman. And of course, when the enemies see him they immediately start attacking him, and while Cameraman is loading his gun to show the toilets what a blow is, meanwhile Titan SWAT Toilet comes to his senses and enters the battle with Titan Cameraman, and initially he successfully dodges Titan Cameraman's attack, but eventually he catches Titan Cameraman's charge with his face. At least I thought so at first, but then it turned out that he had a built-in shield that protected him from the Titan's charge, after which the Titan SWAT Toilet as a true Spartan throws his sharp spear directly into the lens of the Titan Cameraman, as a consequence of which Cameraman temporarily loses his sight. SWAT Toilet then goes down to the ground and is also approached by a Skibidi Flamethrower, who was slightly injured in the battle. The Titan strokes him as if he were a puppy, and utters a phrase. He then teleports his spear to him, takes the Skibidi Flamethrower by the hand, and together they teleport away. Meanwhile Titan Cameraman decided to play a surprise. He probably thought that teleportation takes a long time, but in fact it does not, and therefore he did not have time to destroy, but by the end of the episode POV Cameraman could not withstand all the attacks, so at the end we see how he shows his bark and begins to sparkle. But this is not the end, because now we have come to analyze the secret scenes. This time we see everything happening from the POV of Plungerman. He approaches the cameraman from what face we saw the first two parts of the episode. The cameraman dies, and then Plungerman looks at the Titan Cameraman. Then there is interference and we see a lab, but it is not a lab of cameraman agents, it looks more like a droneman's lab. One of the characters, who looks like a female Titan, moves in. She is also greeted by a voice, but who is speaking is still a mystery. And I have a theory that this female Titan is infected with Skibidi virus and will fight for the enemy side, because the voice that we hear behind the scenes seems to me very evil. But that's just my theory. Maybe it may be stupid, because I have not watched the episodes in this universe before, but you may have watched all the previous episodes, so be sure to write your theories in the comments, and you can also briefly write the plot of this universe. If you liked this video and you want to see the continuation of the analysis of this Skibidi universe, then let's get 5,000 likes on this video. But that's not all, because recently Mr. Boom published a new leak on the Dom Studio server, and honestly I don't even know what to say after seeing this picture. I just assume that soon we will see the full version of episode 73 with additional scenes, and this leak may be a hint that the work is still in progress and will be finished soon. That's all for now, but there are more of my videos on your screens now, so pick your favorite and have fun watching them.